Hi, you guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Dana Ray here. You guys are probably saying, like, this girl always got some new hair every time she makes a video. But yes, that's one of my things. I love to get my hair done. But thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you guys for welcome to all the new people who have subscribed to my channel, who are watching my videos. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have not caught up, go ahead and catch up, because this is kind of like a story here. Like, this is kind of like my life. And yeah, like, if you don't really know my testimony as far as like where I have come from, then you might not fully understand where I'm at, and you might not like be able to get the full impact of how powerful my life story is. So I encourage you to go back from the beginning, and then you'll understand where my faith is from, and why and how I feel now about things. So today we are going to talk a little bit about submission to God. I'm going to talk about how I submitted my life to God, how I kind of began to learn to know that He exists, that He is real, and how important my obedience is to what He says, as far as my life going in the way that He wants it to go, me being in His perfect will. So thank you guys for coming. So let's get right into the video. So submission. As a lot of you probably already know, if you watched my previous videos, I never really came into submission to God until after I was in a place in my life where I feel like I had no other choice. I was so broken. I was so hurt. I was so confused. I was so low. I was so depressed. I was so suicidal and not extreme suicidal, but still I had the thoughts, until there was nothing else that I could run to. I had run to everything else in my life before, and none of that really worked. All that those things did was pacify this hurt that I had, that, you know, came from things that may have happened in my past. It just pacified this hurt, but I never got to the emptiness that I had inside me was never filled until I finally turned to God. So at that time in my life, it was, of course, after a major breakup when I was 33 years old. I'm 34 now, so it was a little over a year ago. And so when I had the whole situation where I thought I might have HIV, but I ended up not having HIV or whatever, I knew at that moment that there was a God. I knew at that moment that He heard my prayer. I knew at that moment that He had been with me my whole life. Like, I knew that what my parents had taught me and what I had learned being a church girl was actually true. That was the initial time where I can say I experienced firsthand God's love and God's existence, His true existence in my life. And after that, I began to seek Him. I began to try to learn more about Him by reading the Bible, by watching sermons, by writing in my journal mainly, writing my prayers down mainly, and just trying to understand and unwrap life in general, like what is real and what is not real, what is true and what is not true. I basically had to unpack all of the things that I learned growing up, and just delve into those things and identify which things were actually true for me and true in general, and which things were not. Like what part of my identity what part of this person that I was walking around as was truly who I was, and what part of it was a result of trauma or insecurity or brokenness or anger. Like I had to separate the person that God said that I was since birth and the person that I had become. And he did that by me reading his word, by him telling me, who he made me to be, bold, be courageous, that I was important to him, that my life was important to him. And I then started to understand that the decisions that I made in my life were important to him. I then started to understand that he wanted a different life for me than what I was living. I started to understand that he actually cared about me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was important to God. So when I started to realize that, of course, it brought me to tears, like knowing how much he had protected me when I didn't know what I was doing, or when I was outside of his will, when I was being evil, when I was being manipulative, when I wasn't being a nice person. And even though all these bad qualities were rooted in things that I had no idea about, it's still who I was. It's still who I had presented myself to be to some people. And to know that he still saved me, like saved my life and still desired to give me another chance, and he still had a different plan for me, it pushed me into wanting to be like and do what it is that he wanted me to do, because all the things that I had been doing that were what I wanted to do or what I thought I needed to do or what other people wanted me to do did not work. All of the grinding and hustling and all this stuff, it did not work, because I was trying to get this life that I dreamed in my own strength, and that is not God's desire. So once he led me to that, which, like I said, everything is a process. Once I started learning that, I'm like, okay, I only want what you have for me, Lord. Like I only want the people that you want in my life. I only want, the job that you want me to have. I only want the car you want me to have. Like I only want to be in the place, state, city that you want me to be in, because I know that there's a purpose behind it, because you have shown me that there is something more that you want me to do, something way beyond what I have been doing. And I want to do that for you, because you have done this for me. I was looking back on how many, people that were my age who didn't make it, who are not here. I work in healthcare, so I see, maybe a lot more death than other people might see, a lot more sickness than other people might see. And I realized how much I had taken for granted, my health and my ability to just have an amazing life. Like there's nothing for me to complain about, because God has been so merciful and so gracious to protect me and to keep me healthy and to keep me strong and to give me the ability to work all these jobs I was working and be all these things to everybody when a lot of people weren't being those same things to me. So that's how I kind of got to my desire to submit to the Lord, and my knowing or hearing that was the best way. But it took me going the wrong way many, many, many times before I was like, I'm done. I cannot do this on my own anymore. God, are you real? If you are, please show me that you are real, and I'm going to do my life your way. Ever since I made that decision, I would say it's been roses, but it is not, because submission requires you to let go of the past. It requires you to let go of some relationships, some friendships that you have obtained in the past that may not have been in God's will, and it just may not be the relationship or friendship that is going to go with you into the next season. Submission to God means that He is going to strip you of everything that you thought you knew, everything that is wrong. He's going to show you the things that are right. But He has to basically clean slate you and reteach you, rebuild you, and reteach you what is right. And he's gonna train you to hear from Him, as opposed to other people, as opposed to your parents, as opposed to your family members, as opposed to your friends, as opposed to celebrities or whatever, pastors and stuff that we put on pedestals. True submission to God is going to push you into a place where you're going to be able to hear from the Lord by yourself. And He's going to strip you from so many things and so many people, so that He can build you up into a bold and courageous person for His kingdom, for the work that He has called you to do, for the purpose that He created you. So when you say, Lord, I'm going to do this thing your way, get ready. And I think that a lot of times we prolong submission to God because, number one, we are not sure sometimes that He exists. That's normal. That's a normal question sometimes, depending on how you were raised, depending on the things that have happened to you in your life, depending on how you feel. Sometimes you don't know Him until you have no other choice but to know Him. But because you have been through whatever you have gone through and He has shown Himself to you, you are going to be so confident in who He is that no one is going to be able to shake your faith. Nothing will be able to tell you that God is not real, because He has shown up for you. You have seen Him work in your life. You have heard Him say things that He was going to do, and He did it, and you have proof. That is sometimes needed for you to truly fulfill the purpose that He has, because you cannot be double-minded or wavering in your faith as far as knowing if there is a God or not and who the Lord is, when there are other people who are going to be looking to you. You're going to be used as a light, as a vessel for other people. The spotlight is going to be on you and your faith once God, changes you and raises you up to do something for His kingdom. So you're the last person that has to be wavering. So He has to take you to a place to show you who He is, so that you will not waver. So submission to the Lord has been a process. It was painful. I think a lot of people might consider it the wilderness season. It's part of the wilderness season. It's going to be painful. It's going to be lonely. A lot lonely. Lonely, but not lonely, because that's empty space that you've been trying to fill with people, with relationships, with jobs, with working, with hustling, all of that, with drugs, with drinking, whatever it is that you've been trying to fill that emptiness, that space in. By the time you have decided to submit to God, He is filling that space, because He's the only person that can fill that space. Nothing else outside of God is going to give you what you need like, because he creates us with a space for him. So you're going to be lonely as far as like, you don't know like what friends are going to be there after you come out of this. You're not going to know what kind of a family members you might have to let go of or might have to distance yourself from. But he'll show you and he'll be with you the entire way. So although it's going to feel lonely, you're going to know that he's right there. You're going to run to him. You're going to be talking to him. You're going to like be gaining a true relationship with him. And after, he has, shown himself to you, he will start to add people back into your life, maybe that need to be there, that you may have had to let go for a season, or he will bring you new people for the purpose and for the next season or for the current season that you're in. He will bring you people. It may not be the people you ever thought he would bring. He may remove some people that you never thought you would have to be without, but you have to trust that he knows more than what you know, and everything that he does is for a reason. He's not doing anything to hurt you, but everything he is doing is for his glory, to help you, to protect you, and maybe even to do something for that other person. Maybe they need to be unattached to you so that they can know him for themselves. Maybe they, you just never know. He knows all, he sees all, he has a heart for all of his children, not just you. So you just have to trust what he's doing, and that he has your best interest at heart. So I would, like I said, submission is lonely. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's scary because a lot of things that the Lord may ask you to do isn't something that you feel capable of doing, or is not something that you would have thought you would do, because you don't have, you don't see yourself always how God sees you, with confidence or with boldness or with being a speaker or with being a leader or with being a parent or being a wife or a husband or a good spouse. Like, you don't necessarily see that you're capable of doing these things that he's telling you that he wants you to do. So it's like, it's scary to say, God, you take the wheel, because you don't know which way he's going to turn the wheel. And sometimes he's going to put you in some uncomfortable situations, but that's just so first of all, you can know what he put inside of you, but then to know, you're going to know that these things that he wants you to do, you can't do without him. So it's creating a lifelong commitment to him, because if you want what he has for you, he has to give it to you. And there is nothing in your human power that you can do to conjure up the things that God has for you. He has to do that. He ultimately is in control of that once you decide that you want him to drive and you're going to sit in the passenger seat of your own life. Look at that guy walking back there. But you're going to sit in the passenger seat to your own life. So it's normal for it to be, what did I say it was? Scary. It's normal for it to be scary, because it's like when you start like being ripped, like this people being ripped from you, and you start getting in that vulnerable spot where you realize, like, who you are, but how little you are, and how much you are, how much your life is dependent on God. It's like he'll tell you to do some things. You're like, you want me to do what? Like, I don't even like talking in front of people. I don't even really like people. Like, you want me? Why not somebody else who is good at this? But he does not. That's not how he works, because he knows what he put inside of you before you gonna know what he put inside of you. So he's gonna give you what you need to do what he said do, but trust me, you're gonna have to depend on him to lead you through it. You are not going to be able to do it without him. He's going to give you peace where you thought you would never have peace. He's going to give you the words to say where you thought you would never have the words to say. He's going to give you the confidence where you thought you would be nervous. He's going to move you where you thought you would never go alone. He's going to shake everything up that you thought it was supposed to be, and and show you how it really is supposed to be. And when you get there, you're going to realize that the life that he has for you is better than anything you could have ever conjured up. Following the Lord, it may be scary, it may be difficult, it may be lonely sometimes, but the peace and the joy that he gives you is, I cannot describe it. There is no fear. There is, he is going to put those things inside of you. You're going to almost look at yourself and be like, yo, how am I doing this? Who am I? How am I doing this? But yo, it's God. So I hope that this video has helped explain submission a little bit to you all. If you don't do anything else in your life, I encourage you to take it from me. Submit your life to the Lord. Ask him where you should go. Ask him what job you should take. Ask him what people you should surround yourself with. Ask him. And when he tells you, your responsibility is to obey. So obedience to his plan is a whole nother video, a whole nother situation, and we'll talk about that at some point. But submitting to my life to the Lord is the best decision I have ever made. The best decision I've ever made. And I cannot ever see myself turning back. I know that, issues will come in life. I know that, not so good things will happen. I know that, life is going to happen. But with God, I know that he will get me through anything. I won't even look like what I've been through, just how I look now, because of him showing himself and what he brought me through at the lowest times of my life. I had to go through that to be who I am today. And I wouldn't have ever become the person that I am today if I did not submit my life to the Lord. So I encourage you, seek the Lord for your entire life. He cares about every aspect of your life. Submit to him, obey what it is that he is speaking to you, and he will grant you the life that you desire, exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever ask or imagine. I am a living witness. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Bye.